Hello, good evening. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ravi Mamtani. I am on the faculty at Weill Cornell Medicine in Qatar. And it is my pleasure and an honor to welcome you to yet another talk in our Health and You Community Wellness series. You will remember this, that the overall goal of the series is to create awareness, empower people about health and disease. The ultimate objective of the series is to enhance self-care, reduce suffering, improve the quality of life, and increase healthy longevity. Just a couple of housekeeping notes before I introduce this evening's speaker. Your cameras and microphones are turned off. Please use the Q&A feature to type questions or make any comments. Questions will be addressed at the end of the session after the speaker has spoken. This is not a CME or CPD activity. Please remember that. So therefore, no certificates of attendance will be issued. So we have an exciting topic for this evening entitled The Secrets of Longevity. And this session will examine longevity hotspots from around the world where people live long, have a good quality of life, and discuss key elements of wellness. And to present that fantastic topic, we have with us my colleague, Dr. Sohaila Cheema. Dr. Cheema is a public health, lifestyle medicine, and integrative medicine specialist, a terrific teacher, a keen researcher. Dr. Cheema has published extensively in peer-reviewed journals worldwide. She is currently an assistant professor at Weill Cornell in medicine, where she's also the assistant dean at the Institute for Population Health. A medical doctor by training, Dr. Cheema obtained her Master's of Public Health from Johns Hopkins University in the US and her fellowship in integrative medicine from University of Arizona. Dr. Cheema is also US board certified in lifestyle medicine. She's a great speaker, and that will become evident in a few minutes. So with those brief remarks, please join me in welcoming Dr. Sohaila Cheema. Sohaila, the screen is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mamtani, for that very kind introduction. I'm really, really happy to be here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation and begin the session. So today the title, of our conversation is The Secrets of Longevity. So I have nothing to disclose, no relevant financial relationships, and I will not be discussing any unlabeled or unapproved use of drugs or products. Now, these are the session objectives for today. We'll look at, we'll examine longevity hotspots from around the world, and we'll discuss some key elements of what wellness is all about. So before we move into the session, I wanted to put things into context, and look at the global burden of disease. We know that, non-communicable diseases, and those are, diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, obesity, they are resulting in 41 million deaths on an annual basis in the world. So we know that the global burden of disease is humongous. And now with COVID-19 into the picture, it has really exacerbated things. And again, the complete picture is yet to come out because things are evolving. We will really see what happens in the next few years of how COVID-19 really has affected the global burden of disease. So as you all may know, we talk a lot about the non-communicable diseases, I refer to them as diabetes and cardiovascular disease. My colleague and our Vice Dean, Dr. Mamtani, refers to this a lot, that we talk about the end product, the disease, but we really forget about how we got there. So if you really look at it, let's talk about the metabolic risk factors, which are happening at a cellular level before we reach the disease stage. There's the increase in blood pressure. There's accumulation of fat in blood. There's accumulation of fat in the cells in our bodies. Our blood glucose levels are uncontrollable. And how do all these happen? How does this all happen at a cellular level? It's because of all these risk factors that we are engaging in on a day-to-day basis. So these are, again, behavioral risk factors. Now, if we look at all of them, it's tobacco use and other harmful substances. There's excess intake of salt and sodium and other unhealthy food. And I'll talk a little bit about food and the unhealthy food habits that we indulge in. There may be excess alcohol use for the communities who use them, insufficient physical activity. We have additional risk factors of stress, irrespective of what socioeconomic strata we belong to. Stress has become a part of our daily lives. Poor sleep habits. A lot of us struggle with sleep. We are unable to sleep and have a proper sleep at night, which is very, very important for us. It restores health for us. And then there is loss of social connectedness and healthy relationships. So all these factors are leading to all the changes, the inflammation which is happening inside our bodies at the cellular level, which in turn then manifest into non-communicable diseases, the whole spectrum. So that's how it really just evolves. So let's really talk about health. So what is health and where does health really come from? What is contributing to our health? So as we can see here, these are all the key determinants of health. So health is a complex phenomena. I don't want in any way for us to think that, health is something simple, but we can try and make it simple. We can try and, do things which are going to give us good health. So again, yes, genetics is there. The sex of an individual, whether you're male, female, the age of a person at different stages in our life, we have a propensity for different diseases. Then the physical environment is important for us. Water, sanitation, air pollution. So we living in Qatar and other high-income countries, are privileged and blessed. We don't have to think about water and sanitation, at least in a lot of low middle-income countries. There's still a lot of struggle happening with potable water and sanitation. Air pollution is a big problem now worldwide. So climate change happening. So all this is part of the physical environment, which is affecting our health. And then we have the social environment. The social environment consists of our socioeconomic status, the education that we receive, the social capital that we have, the culture that we belong to, and then there may be gender norms in our communities. But again, this is key here also, the health behaviors and access to health services. What are maybe then some policies and interventions which are in place? So health, as we can see, is quite complex. I did want to talk about genetics. We do know, and it's clear, in the last 2 decades, there have been a series of twin studies, and the Danish twin studies was one of the more popular ones. It's shown that 20 to 30% of the overall variation in lifespan, it's caused by genetic differences. So for us to survive till an older age, yes, genetics is important. In some families, you will see that all siblings or their parents, they live in their 90s or in their 80s. So again, genetics is important, but it only accounts for 20 to 30% of the health that we have. So the good news with all that is happening is that life expectancy in the last century has increased. So that is good news. If you look at 1918, and then if we look at life expectancy in 2019, now it has really increased. Here, if you can see on the map, the colors are red and between orange and yellow. So the life expectancy was 30 years, 45 years, 55 years. But as you can see in 2019 on the world map, we've shifted toward the green and the blues and the purples. So this is good news. Life expectancy has increased. The world is aging actually. And they've said that in 2020, which is last year, there are actually more older people than children under 5 years. In 2020, for the first time in history, people aged 60 years or over actually outnumber children under 5 years. And if we look at 2050, there will be more than twice as many people above 60 as children under 5. And then by 2050, people aged 60 years or over will also outnumber adolescents and young people aged 15 to 24 years. So the world is really changing. We are actually in the decade of healthy aging. It is from 2020 to 2030. And honestly, longer lives are one of the most remarkable collective achievements that we have been able to achieve as human beings. It's an incredibly valuable resource, and it really provides us an opportunity of rethinking not just what older age is, but also how our whole lives might really unfold. So the focus should really be for us about healthy lifespans. We know that living longer is a reality now. The challenge really is to live healthier. So we want to continue to prosper and thrive till the last day that we live in this life. So what is it that we should be doing throughout that spectrum of life to stay healthy? So let's see what we can do. We know that good health has benefits. Good health adds life to years. The opportunities that arise from increasing longevity, they depend on healthy aging. And people who experience these extra years of life in good health, they will continue to participate and really be an integral part of families and communities and strengthen societies that they are in. However, if added years, they are dominated by poor health, social isolation, dependency on care, the implications for older people and also for the society become much more negative. This was a really good commentary that I saw in Lancet Healthy Longevity. So the Lancet actually has a journal now called Healthy Longevity. So they talk about aging in a post-COVID world. And I really like what they say in this, that there is no us and them. There is no young and old. We are basically all in a continuum. So achieving older life should be something that we aspire to and celebrate. It should not be something that we fear. And the goal is to improve everyone's life across the life spectrum for as long as anybody lives. So I cannot really separate one stage of the life from the other. So this I thought was really, really important, that we are all in a continuum. So what is it that we should be doing throughout the spectrum of life to achieve healthy longevity? So let me take you on a journey. It's going to be a short journey, which we will cover in the next 15-20 minutes. And I will share some secrets of longevity and wellness from around the world with you. So I will begin here. For those of you who don't know who this is Dan Buettner. So he's an explorer, an author, and National Geographic Fellow. He's an award-winning journalist. And what he and his team have done, they've been looking into something called as blue zones. So these are the pockets of longevity around the world. And these blue zones have an unusually high concentration of centenarians. So centenarians are people who've lived for more than 100 years. So they went around the world and they tried to look for these zones. And they have identified five zones particularly. So one is in Okinawa, Japan, then also in Greece, in Icaria, Greece, and Loma Linda, and Costa Rica. So they call these areas blue zones. So what they discovered was that not only do these people live longer, but they're actually living better. They have a large number of centenarians and people remain active into the 80s and 90s. So what is it that enables these populations to live the healthiest and the longest? What do you think? Just think about it for a second or two. What would you say if I said this? The secret to longer life is actually very low tech. So I know everybody is addicted to our screens and technology, but the secret to longer life is really very low tech. Let's look at some of the habits of the centenarians. So I've listed them here. The centenarians who they interviewed, none of them smoked. 40 minutes of brisk walk every day. And the greatest diet plan on earth is hara hachi bu. And what hara hachi bu really means is that you eat till you are 80% full. You do not eat to the point where you're like, oh my God, I cannot even move. So practice hara hachi bu. If they drink alcohol, they limit it to 1 to 2 drinks a day. They all eat mostly a plant-based diet. Go nuts. So I don't mean that they've all gone crazy, but it really just means that they eat 3 to 4 servings of nuts in a day. They invest in family and community. So that's very, very important for them. They have a purpose in life. They pray or belong to a faith-based organization. And all of these people were likable people. They're interested in everything, and they are very interesting themselves also. They possess compassion. They have the ability to laugh. They're either born with it or they've learned it, and they give from their heart. So these are some of the characteristics of the centenarians that they found in these blue zone pockets. So the Blue Zones projects tells us this: the secrets of living longer and better are all around us. So if we really look at the habits of and characteristics of the centenarians, they are able to do all this while they are living in their communities. They give us this, Power 9. These are the key to wellness and longevity. And I'll talk about each in the next few slides. So they are move naturally, purpose, plant slant, 80% rule, wine at 5, downshift, family first, right tribe, and belong. Now, these concepts, if you really look at it, is nothing new. This was said by Hippocrates thousands of years before. If we could give every individual the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little and not too much, we would have found the safest way to health. This also resonates now with the promise of lifestyle medicine. And I'll show you what lifestyle medicine is. We are really taking the movement forward here in Qatar. Dr. Mamtani is a pioneer in lifestyle medicine. He's brought the movement here to Qatar, and we are working with the American College of Lifestyle Medicine to resonate with this. This is what lifestyle medicine is all about. Let's focus on these pillars of health: physical activity, managing stress, healthful eating, avoiding risky substances, improving sleep, forming and maintaining relationships. And they talk about health restoration. So we can restore health. And if we follow some of these practices, there's enough evidence now to tell us that these are so powerful that they can actually prevent, treat, and often even reverse disease. I think that is fantastic just by looking at ourselves, looking at our behaviors, enabling ourselves, our clients, our communities, we can really restore health. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Power 9 and what it really means. So start with the first one, move naturally. So what they've seen is the centenarians that are living, they basically move naturally wherever they can. They move in the homes, in the fields, if they are working, or whatever it is. I know we have more of a problem now moving inside our homes and doing work and things like some of us are sitting for long hours at offices. But again, I think it also depends on us on how do we engage in self-care. So if I'm sitting in the office, I always should take that opportunity to get up, walk in the corridor, or just walk outside for a few minutes. Every hour, I should be getting up and trying to move, even if it is not that I'm working outside. So we have to really see how we can move in the environment that we are in. If I'm sitting at home, okay, can I take a 5-minute break? Maybe do some weights, or maybe just walk around the house a couple of times. So move naturally as much as you can. If you have the opportunity to walk outside, and currently the weather in Doha is fantastic, wherever you can, take that opportunity to enjoy the weather. It's beautiful. In Doha, we know that the government has really invested a lot in parks. So we have beautiful parks like Aspire Park. And I try when I finish from work, to just go for a little walk, at least 30 minutes to an hour. It's fantastic. They have nature there. Nature really helps in our healing process. It's very good for us to de-stress. You see a lot of activity, even in COVID times. For me, it has been a fantastic resource, just to go and walk there for half an hour or 45 minutes before I head back home. So this is how beautiful it is, right? You've got the lakes, you've got, you see a lot of people out there enjoying the weather, enjoying the scenery. It really, really helps us. And at the same time, you're enjoying movement. This is at the Lusail Promenade, another beautiful, promenade which the government has made for the people here in Qatar. Again, you may be joining us from wherever in the world, whatever is there for you, please make use of those facilities. If you don't have facilities, walk around your home. If you have stairs in your house, walk up and down those stairs. Whatever it is that you can do, you should just try and engage more. If you're talking on the phone, just get up, walk around and talk. If you're watching something on television, there's a series, you can put your headphones and just walk. Sometimes we are listening more to the dialogues. So inculcate movement into your life as much as you can. So this was something that we started for the community. Of course, this was pre-COVID. This was in 2019. So we did the walk. But then you can also, take up a hobby, which includes, activity. So this is not my hobby, but it's my husband's hobby. So he does gardening. So we have a beautiful garden. He does a lot of movement there, a lot of activity there. Again, this may not work for every individual person, and I'm not saying that. I think we all have to recognize what will work for us. So, but I certainly enjoy the garden, but I still go for my walk to Aspire Park because that is something that I love. But again, think of a hobby maybe you can take up, which includes movement in it. Having a purpose in life. So enough studies have been done. There is evidence which shows us that if you have a purpose in life, your health will be better. So get up, look forward to whatever it is. So come to work. Or if you have work that you enjoy, whatever your purpose in life is, maybe it's just to look after your family, and that's fine too. So if you really enjoy that, then you will love it. You want to get up every day, it makes me happy. It releases good hormones inside my brain. And that is what I want to get up. I have a purpose in life. Again, when I come to office or when I'm working with my team, working with the community, that's something that I really look forward to. So these are just some photos, of course, pre-COVID, when we were all working here together. This is with the students, which we teach in our public health clerkship. But again, as COVID came in, this was an elective that we developed with the Ministry of Public Health. So that was again a purpose. Okay, COVID is here. How can we do things better? How can we be flexible and move forward in our lives? So again, we have a purpose, a continued purpose in our lives. So we went, to online teaching. Again, this is during one of the sessions where Dr. Sheikh Mohammed Al-Thani, who is the director of Public Health Department at the Ministry of Public Health, he gave a session for our students. So we shifted to Zoom teaching. This, again, when we progressed in COVID and we were allowed to bring in, a few people into the college. So again, we started with small groups and we are back to in-person, but again, with all the restrictions, but again, it's the purpose in life, what gives us joy. This was the certificate in lifestyle medicine. We did this via Zoom, and we have another offering coming up. So this is again with the team. It's not all work for us. Whenever we can, we take moments to celebrate and enjoy. So we have, if somebody's birthday is there, we'll all Zoom in if we are not meeting in person. So we continue that. So again, it gives me something to look forward to. If you have good work colleagues, they spread positive energy. They will add purpose to your life. So it's very, very important for us to find the right people. And this is what it is, our team, when we started with COVID, stay home, stay safe, let's flatten the curve. We are in this together. And that is what it really was. Let's see what plant slant means. So plant slant is really, you should color your plate with nature's palette. And what that means is that predominantly you should be having plant-based foods. Again, plant-based, whole grains, avoiding some of the energy dense, non-nutritious products. This is what your focus should be. 90 to 95% of the food that you're putting on your plate should be plant-based. So you should be eating food, mostly plants and not too much. There are so many options, in vegetarian options. You would be amazed at the flavors that you can bring out in the food. Again, this is just an example of salmon, fish. A lot of people, enjoy the Mediterranean diet, which also consists of mostly predominantly plant-based food, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, lentils, beans, some fish and olive oil and nuts. So again, what you can do with the Mediterranean diet is that you can adapt it to what you like to eat. So I'm not suggesting at any time, okay, you start eating like the Spaniards eat or whatever, but you can adapt the Mediterranean diet and you can eat what you really like and put that in front of yourself and with all the flavors that you like. So this is the real food, right? So we should be avoiding the processed food, the food which is high in sugar, the carbonated drinks. You can add spices to your food. It gives it a fantastic flavor. You don't need a lot of fat, to add flavor to the food. We know that there are foods that fight inflammation, and all these are, again, what we eat if we are following a Mediterranean diet. And these are the foods which cause all this inflammation in our bodies, the fried foods, the refined carbs, the lard, processed meat, and the sodas. So you should avoid the processed, non-nutritious, energy-dense foods. They're very high sugar content. So I know they taste fantastic. And having a treat once in a while, yeah, sure, you can certainly do that. But this should definitely not be the norm for us. Our daily diet should not consist of all of this. So we should stop eating, basically stop drinking carbonated drinks, refined sugars, artificial foods, which are all processed and packaged, and all the processed food which is available to us. So this was again part of our Lifestyle Medicine Week. I wanted to show you all, we were engaging with the community where we had the Cornell Super Chef. This was in 2019, of course, again, pre-COVID. But what we did do was, this year we went online and we had a healthy cooking competition. And all of these are real recipes which people from the community sent to us. So, it was the quinoa veggie salad. It was the feta cheese watermelon salad. It was the banana pancakes or the eggplant shakshuka. Excellent food. It was really fantastic to engage with the community. And it was really the community who brought this back to us. So again, Plant Slant is all about predominantly eating a healthy plant-based diet. The 80% rule, like I referred to, you want to eat up to the point where your stomach is basically 80% full. Do not eat to the point where you're saying, okay, it's very difficult for me to even move. And again, when we go for buffets where we have unlimited food, this becomes a little bit difficult. So stop eating when you're really 80% full. And some of the things that you can do to help you with that is remove the big tableware for eating. So eat your smallest meal either late afternoon or early evening. So you do not want to eat a heavy meal before you're going to go to sleep. You want to remove distractions when you're eating. Because if you're watching a movie and if you have a packet of chips in front of you, you're probably going to eat all of it. It serves as a distraction, the video, and you stop engaging and realizing how much you really eaten. Eat slowly, savor the food. It should be a nurturing experience for us. Enjoy the food. So, and we will only be able to do that if we really stop, take a step back, avoid the distractions and really, really eat slowly to enjoy and savor the food. So for those people, who have alcohol or wine, do so in moderation. So drinking should always be in moderation. Excess of anything is bad. We know that. And we definitely don't want to reach any of those destinations, if there is an excess of drinking. Downshift. What does downshift really mean? Our lives have become very fast. So I think maybe one benefit for some families is that COVID has allowed us to downshift the way that we were working. We were always on the run. For some of the families, it's been a blessing where they can actually enjoy more time with their families. They can enjoy more time with their children and see how they can create positive relationships. So life is beautiful. Yes, currently we are living in difficult times. There are challenging times for all. But again, it's how we think about life, right? It's what do I want to get from life? Let me absorb the good energy that life offers. If I have health, that is a good thing for me. If I have good friends, that's a good thing. Let me absorb the positive energy that life has for me to offer. Feel positive. There's always hope. I know Dr. Mamtani always talks about the story he relates, and it really resonates that it's not only patients that we should be providing hope to. There's always hope for all of us. Again, for all of us now during COVID, the vaccine has become a ray of hope. A lot of us are now getting the vaccine, at least here in Qatar and in different parts of the world. So it is providing us, that ray of hope that inshallah things are going to get better and they're moving in the right direction. You de-stress, enjoy nature whenever you can. So these are just some ways, 50 ways to take a break. If you feel you are too stressed, take these short breaks. Please remember, we don't need to spend a lot of money, to help us de-stress. Maybe you can go and sit in nature if you can. You can just write a letter, listen to a guided relaxation podcast. You can eat a meal in silence. You can view some art. People are engaging in art and they're doing doodling and coloring. That also helps you de stress. Go somewhere new, forgive someone, read or watch something funny. So, several ways, which even if you take 5-minute break, a 10-minute break, it will really help you to rejuvenate. Whenever you feel sad, you can also do this, right? Listen to happy songs or put in an outfit that you love. Treat yourself. Take a nap. Call up a friend. Create something. Smile at yourself in the mirror. I really like this one. Write yourself a love letter. Why not? Take a walk and write down your feelings. So when we write something down, it's a process called as journaling. And that really helps us to get over our feelings of sadness. So if you think that people who you might think, generally stay happy, it's not that they don't feel sad, but basically what they've learned is to get out of the sadness and then come back to the happy zone. So it's the techniques that they've really, built. So this was again Lifestyle Medicine Week, and we did laughter yoga in 2019. It was a fantastic experience, but this time we went online again, and we had keep calm and stress less mindfulness sessions, and we had Nisha, who's a instructor, and she helped us with those sessions. So it was fantastic. We are flexible, we shifted, we still engaged with all our audiences. So it's really being, the matter about being flexible, trying to look at things, doing things in a different way, and not just stopping them. Family first. So this just recently happened, and I thought this was really important. This was by the Doha International Family Institute, just happened in February of 2021. And Her Excellency Sheikha Hind spoke at the conference, and she said building meaningful relationships is the key to avoiding loneliness. And this really resonated with me because I think for nowadays, this is so true. And she said that I feel that today we are more and more connected to the global world, but less so with family and friends in our immediate community. And it's important that family relationships are built in an equal way where each individual is respected, and that includes our children. We need to respect that we bring our children up to have a voice as well, and they need to feel that they have the security within their home. She further said, it's critical for us to nurture confident children and for them to be confident, proud of the environment and the country they live in, the language they speak, their religion, and the family they come from. The right tribe. Now, the right tribe, remember this: angels exist, but sometimes they don't have wings and they're called friends. I think that is really, really true. If you have the right tribe of friends, you are very, very blessed and privileged. And then belong. What that means is they've seen that if you belong to a faith group, community, or a support group, it really works to your advantage. And your health, you will just prosper and your health will become better. So engage in that. So we all know that mind and body are connected. So I cannot say, okay, my mind is separate and my body is separate. That's not true. So your mind and body are always connected, So we have to remember that. Whatever our mind is thinking, it really has its effect on our health, on the body. So I'm going to just share with you a couple of slides on, additional key practices for happiness and wellness. So you should remember the Power 9 that we've spoken about, and then I'm just going to share additional key practices. You should always try and practice positive affect. And what does that really mean? Contentment with the past, with whatever has happened in the past, we need to forget and we need to move on. You have to be content with the past. You have to be happy in the present now. And we must always hope for the future, that there will be something better for us. So if you practice these, you will see that you're practicing positive affect. And this is what it really means. It really does work. I try and inculcate some of these strategies in my daily life. It's a regular practice, and it does not come, by practicing each day. Every day that you're living, remind yourself, even if you take one small step towards these practices, you will see that it really changes the way that you're living, the way you're interacting with people, the way that, your overall health is. Savor pleasure. Do the things that you enjoy. If it is food, eating an apple and eating an orange, whatever it is, savor it, enjoy it. And the experience as it happens and as it unfolds, be in that moment, be mindful, be non-judgmental. And we can get pleasures from small things in our life. We do not need, to be sort of spending a lot of money or needing a lot of money to do that. Practicing gratitude. This is one of the key strategies that you must try and implement. Be thankful, appreciative of what you have. Try and remove negativity away from your mind. Again, blessings should not be taken for granted. And COVID has taught us that. I think health is one of the most important, the key elements that we now know, that this is something that if I have health, I have the privilege. I must be looking after my health. If I don't indulge in health and self-care, I am not doing the right thing for myself. Cultivate mindfulness. You have to train the mind to focus, pay attention to the present moment. So it's not about what happened in the past or whatever is going to happen. Even if it is an unpleasant experience, you must be non-judgmental. You must reflect on that. You must think about that and see, okay, what is it that I can do to sort of get over this and move beyond? And then retain a sense of purpose, like I already alluded to. If there are important life changes in your life, view them as a challenge or as an opportunity rather than as a negative thing which may have happened. Emphasize on the positive things. Acquire resilience. I see young children and little children, even when I go to the park, uh, I love watching them. The amount of resilience that children have, I think nobody has. I'll see them play, they'll fall, they'll get up, they'll dust themselves off, they get on their bikes again. So really, really important for us to acquire resilience and see how we can really always, if we fall, that's fine. It's life. The life is dynamic. It cannot be stagnant. But what we have to really do is develop that ability to bounce back and have reasonable goals, in life that you want to achieve. So just some last take home messages. I always say this, your life is really a blank canvas. You can paint it the way you want. I mean, I am not here to tell you paint it black or blue or green. It's up to you. And your health is really your blank canvas. You do whatever you want with it, and you will reap the benefits. What you practice becomes stronger. Some of my colleagues may have heard me say this a lot. So these are 5 words I want you to remember. What you practice becomes stronger. And this I had heard from a teacher of mindfulness when I was doing my fellowship in integrative medicine. And she had actually spent time with the monks. And this is what they taught her. What you practice becomes stronger. So if you are practicing happiness and joy and peace and kindness, that is what is going to become stronger in you. And if you practice that in your mind, that is what your body is going to listen to. So avoid the negative, the hate, the jealousy, if the negative feelings. If you practice those, then those become stronger. So please don't let those become stronger in you. Life is a precious gift to us. We have had Dr. David Riley. He would come to us from Scotland. We've done a lot of wellness workshops with him. And he talks about nurturing life. And the example that he gives is, okay, if I have a plant or if I have a pet even, what do I do with them? We nurture them. We make sure they have enough water, they have enough sunlight. You know, if I have a pet, that he's being fed the proper food. But then how are we nurturing our life? What am I doing to nurture myself, my life? So water that life that you have carefully. I read this and I thought I want to share this with you. So, this is a quote from Aldous Huxley, and he said, people often ask me what is the most effective technique for transforming their life. It is a little embarrassing, he said, that after years and years of research and experimentation, I have to say that the best answer is just be a little kinder. So practice kindness wherever you can. And I'll show you some examples of kindness. And start with self-compassion. We really beat down on ourselves a lot sometimes. Practice kindness even on yourself. I saw this at a school. We'd gone to do a session I'd gone with some colleagues and, to do a road safety session. And I saw this in a school. It said, kindness is a superpower. I mean, what is more powerful than that? I loved it. So again, live generously, practice empathy, serve with a smile, treat people with compassion. Be the reason that someone smiles. Show gratitude. Listen with your whole body. Apologize and forgive. Donate your time and talents and love wholeheartedly. So you can see that we don't need money to practice kindness. It is a superpower. So try and engage in some of these activities. And these are 7 additional ways. Send an uplifting text to a friend, family member. Let the guy merge into traffic with a wave and a smile. So I know sometimes here on the roads, we find that difficult. You know, let the person go. Let them merge in. Include intentional moments of kindness, laughter, delight in your daily routine. Go slightly out of your comfort zone and make someone smile. Share a compliment with your coworker or friends. Reach out to a family member you haven't spoken to in a while and treat someone to a cup of coffee, maybe a friend, a stranger, or even yourself. So this was again a quote. I thought since we are finishing, I just have the last 2 or 3 slides, and this is from Christopher Peterson, and this is from his book, A Primer in Positive Psychology. So he said, like many academics, I spent my young adult years postponing many of the small things that I knew would make me happy, including reading novels for pleasure, learning to cook, taking a photography class, and joining a gym. I would do all of these things when I had time. When I finished school, when I had a job, when I was awarded tenure, and so on. I was fortunate enough to realize that I would never have time unless I made the time. And then the rest of my life began. So that is powerful. So, my friends and my colleagues, if you haven't made time for the small things that you can savor and enjoy, please try and inculcate those because your life will really begin then. This is a message again, what we've spoken about Power 9 and lifestyle medicine from our whole team at the Institute for Population Health. So embrace a healthy lifestyle, manage stress, be kind and thankful, eat healthy, be active, don't smoke, get quality sleep, retain virtual social connections, at least till, when we're in COVID, stay home and be safe. So life is like a camera, my friends. Focus on what's important. Capture the good times, develop from the negatives, and if things don't turn out well, take another shot. And I want to stop with this. I don't know if y'all know, but this is Pooh Bear. I used to see a lot of his cartoons with my children when they were young. So they have a lot of conversations, Pooh Bear and Piglet. And Pooh asked Piglet, "What day is it?" So Piglet squeaked, "It's today." And Pooh said, "It's my favorite day." So today, think of every day as your favorite day. See what you can do. What is the purpose in your life today? Because tomorrow may never come. So my favorite day is also today because I had an opportunity to engage with you all. So thank you for listening. And that's it from my end.
So with that, on behalf of Institute for Population Health, Weill Cornell Medicine in Qatar, I want to personally thank you on behalf of my entire team, shukran, and thank you for attending this session this evening. And have a wonderful evening. Inshallah, we'll see you next month.